Well, here we go. Smooth start as always, guys.
Wow.
What is happening?
What's up, boys? This is a late night edition, and I'm exhausted. I just finished up an hour and a half podcast with the current crew, but we have special guests in the house, boys and girls, the original four. I love this so much. You guys have no idea. To get you guys all together in one room is, well, not in one room. I wish, like the good old days. But this podcast is, Matt. Oh, here we go. This podcast is my baby. This is for the people who listen to us for 13 years. Believe it or not, we've been friends doing this podcast. My name is Farhad. I'm the host who loves you most. Blah blah blah. We got a great crew in here. We got Saeed from Los Angeles, California, with the LA flag behind him and rocking the Dodgers. We got Mr. Dallas, Christian, and we got Mr. Boston rocking the everything green in Boston. You know how they do, Mr. Matt Coco. You guys have no idea. Like I said, it's such a pleasure to reunite. 13 years ago, we were crammed in a little, no, not a little. It was a pretty big apartment in Woodland Hills. I had a great idea because Christian mentioned that he was on a magical thing called podcast, and he talked about his favorite Real Madrid. And I was like, you know what? I like to hear myself talk. Let's do this. Who wants to do a podcast? And I remember it was not the first year of, Matt's killing me with his connection. It was not. It was not the first year of Juve's invincible season, but it was the second year where we started recording, and some of the best memories, man. All right, I'll shut up. Christian, I know I mentioned that you're a Real Madrid fan, but you are a well-respected Juventus supporter as well. You know a lot about the team, and you support and always give much respect to the Bianconeri. And you've come to a bunch of our meetings, you know, when we had the fan club in LA, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for the invitation, Farhad. It is great to see you again, see Saeed and Matt. I'm just really honored to be on this again. It's really fantastic, and I'm really, really amazed to see us do this again. Really making history, you know. Just so everyone knows, I started following Juventus in 2001. Okay, this is when Zidane was still with Juventus. So I've been a Juventino for 24 years now. And never wavered, following Juventus week in, week out. Everything about Serie A, everything about Juventus. It's all been about Bianconeri when it comes to Italian soccer.
Listen, man, I am no fan of Real Madrid or their fans, but you've shown nothing but respect, and you're allowed. You're a grandfather. Then I love it, and you know what? You've been on the Juve podcast with us for how long, right? So you know your stuff about Juve. I'm kind of bummed Matt just crashed out, but it's all right. We'll continue without him. Saeed, my good bud who helped me run the official. No, it was not official, but it was a fan club of Southern California of Juventus. So we had a lot of fun. We met on maybe like the second or third meeting and been buds ever since. And now he runs the official fan club. So that's your president right there. If you are in the LA or Southern California area. Cheers, buddy. What are we drinking today?
Cheers, guys. got some whiskey going on. I want to say, thank you for having me on. Obviously, I miss having you guys in town. It was a great time. Obviously, when we started, the podcast started right here behind me. Good times, where we had audio problems. We had a little laptop and,
Oh, nothing's
doing
changed,
it,
buddy.
yeah, doing it, just however we could. And, it was good times, man. We made a lot of progress. Obviously, more fan clubs popped up in the US. A lot of activities happened. We met the team, Del Piero, all kinds of stuff. So, it's been a good ride. Obviously, we're kind of going through a little bit of a rough time right now with the team, but the club, started on the right foot that summer when we all met up for that first meetup. It was just something special in the air. You kind of felt it, right? Like that summer, I was kind of like looking for a fan club, found something on Facebook. We met up. It was like what, five of us or something, and then
And two of them I
you
had to
know,
go pick up from their homes. They were so
yeah,
far.
and yeah, one of them was like your wife or something, right? So it
What
was
are you
like
what are you talking about?
with Nazarene, right? She was
Oh, one of the fan. I
yeah, so
thought
one of
you
the
meant one
five
of the
was like
people.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
one of the
I know. It
five
was
was
like
her.
me,
So
like a local drunk, and the kid who I had to pick up from like downtown LA. But
yeah,
we made it
yeah.
work, man. It was super
But yeah,
fun.
man, it was just, it was a something special that year, and obviously like all the friendships we built, the original crew, obviously we're all like really good friends, and it's been nice to see the club grow. We've had hundreds of members, a lot of people come and go. A lot of people moved out of LA, but the original crew, there was just something special that you still,
Yeah,
remember,
man.
and
We
we have
we try to make it happen every once in a while. We
yeah,
meet
yeah,
up,
yeah.
go see something related to Juve. Uh, man, Matt is struggling over here. Man,
There he is.
there he is.
Quick, give him the
Uh,
mic.
it's actually, I know, right? It's actually Christian. He has done a couple of episodes of Turin Giants podcast because by legal reasons I had to change the name. I literally have a letter from a Juve lawyer. He's like, "Bro, you might want to ease up on the whole Juventus thing." But yeah, Christian has done. I think it was a Super League episode. You were so eloquent and you were so great explaining the whole situation.
Yes, that was a
Um,
fantastic episode. And Saeed, you were
R.I.P.
on that
Super
too.
League. Oh, the one, yeah,
Yes.
that was a good
oh,
one.
really? Oh, I don't remember Saib being on it. Yeah, that's
It
good.
was.
I
Well,
guess.
that was no, that
I
was him.
remember it was a coach from North Carolina who wrote a book, Scott Martin, fantastic guy. And Saeed was on it, and then Hendy, this guy with the Liverpool Orange County Club, was on the episode. So I had Premier League voice, had European.
I think that was your podcast. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
it was his
mine.
pod.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right. No, I was like Liverpool. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I did one after. Yeah, after we did yours, I did one on my own.
Well, let's see what Matt's been up to. He has done more podcasts than ever anyone with us, and people love Matt Coco. Like,
Aw, appreciate that.
super cool radio name. I'm sorry, Matt Coco. You can't beat that.
Super cool, yeah.
The podcasts have been great. That I've loved doing them, even though I haven't done one in a while. I was
Well, you're
actually
Mr. Busy Man, dude. I mean, this guy's getting married and getting MBAs out there.
that's all done. So
busy man. I love it. He's reaching personal heights, and then we appreciate it.
thank you. Yeah, but it was funny. I was thinking about it the other day. I remember this vividly. We were talking about like who could be the next coach of Juve. Like
Which time?
I don't even remember which time. I want to say it was maybe before the Allegri came back, and I think we were talking about Thiago Motta. Like, oh, he could be cool. Like he would be cool. And then of course that didn't work out. And I think I remember I shouted out Italiano at the time, who has had a really good year at Bologna. But I feel like it's like this constant cycle of who is like who is the coach doing the most with like the least team, and then like, oh, we should just pluck them, and that's probably not the best case. And now we're back to wondering who the next coach is going to be.
Yeah, man, we officially don't have a coach yet. I'm glad he brought that up. But before we get into the Juve talk, so let's, boys and girls, sit on Uncle Farhad's lap. Let me tell you a story. So I found an old recording of us And like we've upgraded. I mean, you guys are all using laptops because you're not doing a podcast anymore. That's fine. But like I've upgraded the mics, and now like if you want to be on the podcast, you need to have decent sound and stuff. But I remember this little snowball mic, us huddled around it like the Beatles at a concert or something, yelling into a mic. We had to take turns. But yeah, nobody was doing it back then, man. That's the reason why. Like consistency helped me bring it to 300, and of course, so many people helped, and so many co-hosts, and but yeah, it was the sound quality was hilarious because I found a clip, I found a podcast episode on my computer the other day, and I'm like, oh, dude, how did people listen to this? And I've gotten nothing but love. Like it's so funny because it's social media and all the people are a-holes, not mostly, but some of them. But even through like the shittiest episodes, we got nothing but love. People appreciate what we do, and I appreciate them appreciating us. So yeah, it's been 13 years. Juventus Juve podcast at first, but then I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't want to go to jail, so I would go to Italian jail. So yeah, I'm so happy you guys are back. We're all Matt, are you drinking? Because we all are drinking. So
no, I it's a little bit later on the East Coast, so I'm holding off right now.
Mr. Boddington's. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yes.
I don't know if
I
you
haven't
guys.
had Boddington in so long.
Really?
So at our meetings, Matt was sitting with his usual beer, and we had some good times. I also found an old video of us celebrating the first Scudetto. I bought like the cheapest wine, the cheapest champagne I could find across the street or somewhere at a bar. But I probably got it at a bar, right? That was that was weird.
I actually
I didn't go anywhere. I bought it at a bar.
That clip's on the YouTube channel, actually.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, it's a little blurry because kind of old video, but
cameras weren't that good back then.
Yeah,
it was so dimly lit. I felt like I was in a
it's Fox and Hound.
Yeah.
Fox and Hound.
Well, they also had the screen blocking most of the windows too, so like it's a projector, so they need it dark. And it's terrible video quality.
But good memories for sure, man. So yeah,
terrible parking.
I know.
There's
like 4 spots in there.
Yeah.
Any of you guys going to Club World Cup? No,
too far.
If
it was LA, probably. But
if Juventus invited me VIP hospitality, absolutely.
But
no.
Why would they do that?
Because of who we are.
That's
right.
You
gotta put out a viral video.
Who are we?
Well, guys, actually, talk about some of the memories of the podcast. Do you guys have any memories of, some of the certain days? And like I remember there was one. It was on St. Patrick's Day, and Matt's like, "Guys, let's do this quick. I got a lot of drinking to do."
What a shock! Matt celebrating.
Yeah,
guys, we gotta go.
That was fun times. And then there was another one. It was the Scudetto. It was just me and Matt. Matt, remember that one?
I think I remember that one because I was out of town. That's why I couldn't record. And first time listening to our podcast as a listener, I was like, this is so fun. I get why people love this, man.
Well, at that time, it was like not a lot of English-speaking Juve fans. Right?
There was none of them.
Everyone's Italian, so it was hard to find like just English speakers. Everyone's like, "Oh, hell yeah,"
Even just podcasts about
Juve.
like sports.
Yeah. Serie A, Juve.
Dude, we're pioneers, man. Don't take that away from you. Us 4 getting together, and like I was saying. Like consistency was key because I've seen so many podcasts come and go. People messaging me, "Hey, I really love what you do. It made me open mind." And then I check back on them. That was like 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I'm not like saying something special, but you just got to keep going.
It's hard to keep it up.
And nowadays, after the pandemic, there was a bunch of podcasts, and they died down because people went back to work. you can only sit in your room for so many months, but yeah. What's happened since last time I had you guys on? Like I mentioned, Matt's a family man. Celtics won the championship. Christian's Argentina is currently the world champion. Look at that!
Oh,
Look at that!
Oh, what's that behind him? What's that?
Hold on, let me zoom you in.
Well,
Which
you know,
between,
Matt, I stole it from the Alpha headquarters. Just don't tell them.
Yeah, yeah. How you managed to sneak that out? You're like Salt Bay.
Well, it's coming out in Mission Impossible 8.
I love that. I love that Argentina winning not only gave Messi the World Cup and one of the most memorable World Cup finals, but we also canceled as a society canceled Salt Bay
yeah,
because you can overcharge me for steak all you want. You do not touch my World Cup if you didn't win it.
Yep, that's right.
Nah, that was fucking annoying. But yeah, Saeed's a merry man too. He runs the fan club in LA. So if you guys are in Southern California, please check out the one and only Los Angeles fan club. I mean, this Del Piero shirt, the signed shirt, this man made it happen.
bro.
He called me.
You were in that commercial, and you did such a great job that they didn't even put us in there.
Those bastards. I know.
Oh, you
I know.
got cut?
Nah, but we were.
No,
that was a fun commercial, man.
Dude, I don't care about the
fun,
commercial.
yeah.
We had dinner with Del Piero at his
Oh my
restaurant.
god, that was.
I'll never forget how, like I tell my kids, if you have an opportunity, go for it. So we arrive at the Del Piero restaurant. He drove us there. We're in the car with Del Piero. He's driving
He
us.
picked us up at the thing.
Yes. And they told us act surprised. And we're doing our worst acting ever. Oh my god. So anyways, we arrived and Del Piero's the seat, everyone filled their seats, and I'm being a gentleman. I'm like, okay, you. I'm like the last one standing. Nobody took a seat next to him. I was like, I'm going for it. I let you motherfuckers had your chance. I'm sitting next to Del Piero. So he's on my right side, giving me lobster pasta and truffle pizza, just like the best. And I'm like,
So
I know I
good.
should be enjoying this, but I'm not. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, I couldn't eat, honestly. I like had a little bit of bites, but I was so nervous.
I'm just
Remember,
kidding.
like it was hard to like think of. Remember, they're like asking questions, and we are kind of like, oh my god, it's so hard to like think of something. You're just kind of like in awe.
And
of it.
this was after the famous. Speaking of Real Madrid, that was the game where Buffon got the red card
Buffon got
for
the-
trash talking and penalty. And this guy who was with us would not shut up about the controversial call that just happened. And it's like Del Piero's looking at him, he's like,
He was just kinda like,
this is a commercial. Like, we're not talking about current events. And I'm asking him, which shirt did you keep?
What about the shirt?
All right. Seamless transition. Yeah. So I'm asking Del Piero about which shirt he still has in his closet, like, which is, by the way, not a lot of people know, but the World Cup final game, the shirt still hangs in his closet, I guess. But then this guy's, trying to talk about the controversial call that just happened. It's just so not a place. I think that's why they put a kibosh on the whole thing, man. But it was an awesome day, like hanging out with Del Piero for 3 or 4 hours, signing shirts, taking photos, and in the private atmosphere was cool. So thank you. I will always be grateful to Saeed for hooking us up, man. It was like 4 people, and he made sure that I'm there. I flew from Chicago literally for like 2 days. No, it was awesome. That was one of the craziest memories. And then if to the listeners out there, if you're meeting the players, just boundaries. I've seen people just completely lose their shit and become complete idiots in front of players, and it's like, man, I mean, they don't. You need to be nicer to them. You need to be a little more humble, a little more quiet. Some people just are so excited.
Bro, I can tell you some stories, ever since, he obviously doesn't live here anymore, but he still has the restaurant. And, ever since that whole thing when he was in town and, people come and go, members and all that, you'd be surprised the crazy stuff people ask me, man. It's like, like, you think he can come to my kid's birthday or whatever?
Oh, my God.
You think he can sign whatever? I'm like, listen. I've met him a bunch of times. I've had him sign one jersey, and that's it. I've had a couple of pictures with him. it's just like some people. Yeah, I mean, even at the meetings, you're kind of like, guys, if you see him there, maybe say hello or something. Just don't bother him. You want him to be like comfortable, and keep coming to the meetings and not kind of. But even then, still people. As soon as he would come, people kind of like swarm towards him, and it's like, hey, sign this.
Isn't that crazy? You guys sent me a photo once of Del Piero at our meeting, and in the contrast to what I was just saying, 3 or 4 people watching Juve turned into Del Piero's at our meeting. So that was a cool
Remember,
moment.
we used to joke about it. We're like,
I was bummed
because he
out.
was
I
living there, and we were like, dude, we got to get him to our meeting, and it
yeah,
just it took a while, but yeah, man, it was a good ride.
it's a cool picture too. I still have
Yeah,
that photo of you guys, and he's kind of in the middle, and everyone. It was like 100 people in there. That was pretty cool. Yeah, man.
times.
You guys want to talk about some current news? We are officially coachless. We have no president, no coach. Juve is just at a free fall.
Man, when it rains, it pours, man. The
I
last
know.
5 years have just been. It just feels like repeat of Groundhog Day, right? You keep waking up, you're like, oh my god, we're still in this like same place. Got to rebuild half the team, get a new coach. So
Yeah.
It's
Matt, tell me what you
it's
think about.
ironic that we're all together because like when we were first doing this, right, that was the start of this amazing period of just this run of championship after championship and competing in the Champions League, getting to finals, and now it's like we're we're so lucky just to get into the Champions League. God, this team is so stressful to watch now. I was
Yeah,
talking with a
man.
friend at the end of this last game, and I was just like, why is this team so stressful?
yeah,
There seems to be no direction.
yeah.
I have a question for the table. I got into a back and forth on the chat. I think it was the second to last game where Inter was playing against Lazio. Roma was playing Milan. Lazio and Roma were behind Juve in Champions League standing. And Juventinos in the chat were wanting Lazio to win, even though it was going to propel them tying us or going ahead of us in Champions League. And I was saying in the chat, no, we do not want Lazio to win. We don't want Roma to win. We need to get in Champions League. We need to get that last spot. No, but we need to stop Inter from winning. Look, I care about Juventus. So my mode was I want Juventus in Champions League. That was my mode, the second to last game. So I want to ask each of you guys, did you feel the same way as those people, or were you about making Champions League for next season, even though it was going to help Inter possibly winning?
Oh, man, love for Juve number 1, hate for Inter number 2. Actually, that's one of the topics that I wanted to bring up. You guys wouldn't believe. I posted a reel on our Instagram at Turin Giants. It was just like it's a joke, but basically it's when Juve fans say I'm rooting for Inter because of Italy, because of the coefficient, or for the country, I'm for the country first, and that I'm still getting comments 2 weeks later on that reel. It's like it's gone viral since. There's been inside discussions, inside comments, and I keep reposting the replies. And whenever some Juventino, they reveal themselves as supporting Inter in the Champions League final, of course, in a couple of days, I put them on blast. I make sure people see that, and then people, my DMs are full of people. They're like, I don't understand how a Juve fan can say that. I don't care what happens to Italy. They need to bring Italian football back. It's like, no, I'll wait for Juve to do that. Any of you guys, please don't tell me, because bad things will happen.
No,
I'll
let
Matt go. I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you my perspective. I'll let Matt go. Yeah.
Okay. No. So Inter, like, above all else, like, I want them to lose. That's like, I want Inter to lose everything. Now, to Christian's point first, like, no, getting in the Champions League was more important than like a Lazio Inter result that went against Inter. But like Champions League final, I'm all in. I'm speaking French this weekend. Like, let's go. Even though I don't have any love for PSG either, but there's levels, right? And there's really like I think like in general, like fandom as a whole has changed so much and I'm not going to get into like a diatribe about like what FIFA, the game, and like social media has done for like fandom, but
Mhm.
I think it depends on like when you grew up a little bit of like how much exposure you had to the other teams, and especially if you were a Juve fan through Calciopoli, like there's just no way you could look at
I think
how
that's what it is.
like had no repercussions and nothing happened to them, and they got to basically cakewalk the league for the next few years because of the penalties that happened to Juve and to a lesser extent Milan. And be like,
Conte.
yeah, and then be like, you know what, I'm gonna root for them. There are other teams in Serie A I don't hate nearly as much. Like I don't have like strong hate towards Roma or Milan or even Fiorentina. I know they hate us, but they're like the little brother that we just kind of like pick on and steal their players. Although that might be a Ponzi scheme at this point. I don't know what's going on there.
They know what they're doing.
But like really, like the only two teams I like truly despise is Inter and Lazio.
Damn. All right. I'll tell you my perspective. So I think if you're actually Italian, maybe I could understand that argument, like, hey, for Italy, for Italian football. But if you're a non-Italian Juve fan, like me, some of you guys, why, right? They're our rival. It doesn't bring anything to us. It's not like the old days where I remember, for example, in 2010 when they played the final, I think it was crucial that they win that game versus Bayern because it meant like the points. Remember, like it used to be only the 2 CL spots. It was like the third was actually a playoff, and now all of a sudden in 2018 they changed it to 4 automatic teams, and Inter didn't make Champions League from 2012 to 2018. So it was only that 4th spot that allowed Inter even back into the Champions League, right? That's 6 years of no CL. It took Juve 6 years to go from Calciopoli to winning the Scudetto, right? So so one is that. The other one is that so it's like we're not dependent on those CL spots and all that nowadays, right? So the other thing of it is we have to realize, that was almost 20 years ago. So a lot of these kids, if they're 30 and under, they didn't live through that pain, right? I mean, if you were like a 9-10-year-old kid back then, maybe, when I was 9 or 10, you weren't that emotionally invested in soccer as much as you do when you get a little bit older. So I think some of it is that, like, they just don't have that emotional attachment and anger to those times as we do. So for me, never ever I would root for Inter, whether it's for Italian. Even though I'm a big Italian football fan, I root for Italy national team right after my country, which is Iran. So so Italy's like my second home, right? And I'll tell you guys this: Taremi on Inter is from Iran. This is one of Iran's best players. I'm a Taremi fan, but I would never ever root for Inter. So even with Taremi, nope, not really do this. So never. Over.
When you mentioned, because a bunch of the comments, they say, "Oh, this fan must be from like after 2011." They were younger fans, don't know how they screwed us, and they celebrated. And speaking of Italian fans, there was an argument. You have to go to our Turin Giants page and see a guy punching this famous Ukrainian boxer punching like a dummy or whatever. But anyway, that's the real. And there was this one guy who said that, hey, I live in Italy, and when we played Real Madrid, I had friends who were Inter fans who were supporting us, who wanted us to win. Of course, there will be some people, but it just doesn't seem right. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
Never. I don't care what kind of coefficient it is. It just seems wrong. I should have pulled up the thread and kind of read some of the comments, because the DMs that I get I don't post them because people literally get violent towards those people who want to support Inter. It's really bad. But yeah, hopefully.
That's why it's best to be post and ghost.
What, you got cut off?
Post and
No,
ghost.
no, I'll read the comments and screw up my day for the rest of the week. Don't worry. Yeah. But yeah, man. There's a couple of things that I brought up here that I wrote down here that you guys want to talk about. Possibly. So, do Juventus support? I'm sorry, Christian. We didn't hear your opinion.
He did first.
Yeah, I brought the question up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, but you were talking about Lazio, which was, how crazy was that ending to the season? I mean, did Italy have the best ending to the season, or what? That Pedro penalty, Pedro, who I know will see a Pedro shirt out there, Juventus fan who put Pedro, and then it would be hilarious if they put the minute number in the back.
Well, okay, my question is this. Where was this fire in the other 37 games?
Yeah.
Where?
32 points.
On the road. How many times did we do that this season?
32 points dropped, 16 draws. Just like a crazy
how
number.
many games were they unable to score more than one goal? Or more than 2 goals is like, wow. I mean, we got a third goal. Holy.
Hold on. Calm down. Yeah.
When it was 2-2, I was like, where are we going to get a third goal from? Because we just don't see that.
Do you know Vlahovic is not doing that? So speaking of that, what are you guys' disappointments of this season so far? If you guys are listening to this and you didn't listen to the first part, we did a whole season recap. Please go back one episode down and check that long episode out. Also on YouTube. Yeah, we talked about disappointments and most improved and MVPs, but I want the boys to let us know their opinions as well. Matt, you're a Locatelli fan, right?
I do like Locatelli a lot. Obviously Italian. Just first off, when you have like a good Italian player, I'm just like obviously gonna love. But yeah, I actually think. I mean, he was probably our MVP. Maybe Thuram actually. Thuram had a really good year. He was probably my favorite signing. Biggest disappointment. That list is very long. But it's like for me, it's either. I mean, Koopmeiners and Luiz both bums, and then Vlahovic bum.
But at least they were cheap
bums. Yeah, at least we didn't spend like a small country's GDP on them. So
we'll be lucky if we get like third of what we paid for Vlahovic, right?
Yeah. So
boy, did we lose money on him.
Yeah, I think Koopmeiners was probably the biggest disappointment because the saga for like signing him was going on for so long, and there was so much hype. And I didn't watch a lot of Atalanta games last year, so I had to go off of what other people told me. I'm like, oh, this guy's amazing. And just game after game after game, he kept getting starts, which was the most annoying part about it. It's like, this dude has done nothing. Mm-hmm. And we're just like going back to the well. And it was really the Champions League play-in game where he started. Thuram doesn't come in until like the 70, not the play-in game, the knockout, whatever this new format of Champions League and how it works.
PSV.
And Thuram doesn't come in until like the 78th minute or something like that. Like one guy has shown up, the other guy hasn't, and why are we playing the one guy who has? I don't know. So yeah, that's probably my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, Mota sure didn't know where to put them. Saeed.
All right, I'll tell you. I think the biggest disappointment was, Cristiano, right? Cristiano 2.0. I mean, the signings just absolutely terrible for the amount of money we spent. I mean,
you're talking about Giuntoli?
Yeah.
I was did Ronaldo come back?
Yeah. CR
Why are people so hard on him? I get it. Like, he made a lot of mistakes, but
CR7 was a great signing. We'll talk about that afterwards. But let me tell you this. So the signings with the summer were just terrible. Thuram was good. Di Gregorio, I think he turned out decent. He picked up second half of the season. Locatelli, I love Locatelli. I really don't understand the hate he gets. He's such a classy player. He connects passes. He does the most breaking the lines, long pass, everything you name it, right? But The problem is when you're in his role and the way we play, he's always staying back. He's usually our third or fourth center back, literally, right? So if you pay attention on corners, he's not even up there. He stays back to clean up the balls, right? So he's further back, and people are kind of expecting him to be like a goal scorer or something like that. That's just not the way we play. If we played more like a Real Madrid or Barcelona, more free flowing, maybe. But Turin was a great signing. I think Conte Sao early on was good, but he I feel like he's more of a super sub. I don't think he's ready to be like a starter, and kind of ends up being a little bit of a one-trick pony. He doesn't look up sometimes to see his man next to him. So I think he's still got a work to do. Maybe he would pan out eventually. I just don't know if we should be paying that money for him right now. So I think we should send him back. And, we got a lot of rebuilding to do. I mean, we just got to figure out the defense. I think the biggest problem was defense this year. We didn't really have clear...
The injuries.
Yeah, injuries. Again, we don't always have good fullbacks. Cambiaso, for some reason, was great until he got linked to Man City, and then his game somehow dropped. Vlahovic, I mean, second or maybe the first disappointment. I was really a fan of his. I still think he can be a good player in the right system, but he's just not that hold-up type of striker, that Juve type of striker. So yeah, I think he's got to go. Hopefully we get some money, and what can you say about Coop and Douglas Luiz? I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, Douglas Luiz is the most disappointing.
Yeah, no, I 0 goals, 0 assists. At least Coop kind of showed up somewhere somehow. He scored a couple here and there, but Douglas Luiz, man, his injuries kind of killed us. Yeah.
My God. So yeah, that's. But
it's
I'm always positive.
Good for you, man. It's so funny. We were trying to pick the MVPs, and everybody kept stealing each other's because there was like 3 players that really bail. And we have Freddie on the podcast. He's this straight shooter from Belgium. He's like, who? No one. Who do you? This is not Juve. This is shit. We were trying to rank our seasons. Everyone gave like 5, 6. I gave a 6. Then I got I got humbled real quick, and then he's the last, and he's like, no, 1. We're Juve. What was this? 4th place?
I mean,
and then we tried it.
Making Champions League should be a minimum 5 or 6, right? I mean,
I was going to go like 4. I was like 4 for me.
4? But we made Champions League,
Okay, fine.
We did the bare minimum.
But you know what? We figured out that
we got 5. Can you go to 6? We got 5. Do I hear 6? Do I hear 6? Do I hear 7?
5.5.
Christian already looks like a what was cattle auctioneer.
Cattle auctioneer.
Well, we figured out that 10 is a treble. That's your treble season. Domestic double. No. Anyways, it was some kind of a rating system, but making 4th place and not winning any trophies, I got pegged down to like maybe a 3. But yeah, it was a. I think at this point, the game is in cycles, right? I feel like we've been to I think this was the lowest of the low. We should be seeing some kind of an improvement next year, but because Juve fans are kind of we've shaken off the fanboys that kind of joined during Cristiano's years, and we're back to the core Juve fandom. So it's
sometimes when you go through the hard times, you kind of figure out yourself, right? We tried a few different options. We brought Allegri back. We kind of tried out Pirlo, Thiago Motta, all these things. And, I mean, to me, it's a little disappointing when I see Juve fans discount a lot of the things we've done, right? So 9 in a row. I mean, that's
but it's been 5 years since, man. It's been 5 years.
9 in a row is
that's. I see what you mean. It's difficult to do. Yeah, it's nearly impossible.
I mean, it's like winning week after week, despite having a few kind of bad seasons, right? I mean, the last two was considered bad, and we're like winning, right? So, we just kind of got used to that. I think the problem, I mean, COVID, I think kind of contributed a lot, right? We just never got over that hump, and the problem of it was, okay, we met two of the greatest teams probably ever in the Champions League final. There's no shame in losing to Barcelona and Real Madrid that had those players, right? So,
yeah, we met the
did great in
trident,
those.
the deadliest tridents in history.
and you're up against the money. They had the money we didn't have, a lot of different things, right? So, and I'll tell you one thing. I know everyone's counting trophies, right? But look at how happy everyone gets when they just make the CL final, right? So let's not discount those years that we made the final. I mean, I see a lot of Juve fans kind of discount those years as it was nothing, right? We were still the second greatest team those years. That's still a lot of years, right? To me, I don't know. I mean, I prefer to be where we are versus an Inter that wins like one every 30, 40 years or something, and then has like 10 shitty years, right? So to me, like, that consistency of being good, always make CL, always be one of the teams. To me, that's more important than like winning once in a while and then not be able to repeat and like be irrelevant forever. So
yeah, I got you.
Christian?
Yeah. Well, the biggest disappointment for me was the Champions League results, because we were in the playoff round and we just crashed out in the worst way. I was not proud of being a Juventino.
How dare you? PSV Eindhoven are a powerhouse. There's no shame to losing to them.
They then lost 7-1 against Arsenal the next game.
So
Who did Arsenal beat, by the way?
sorry.
Nothing.
Well, going back to what Saeed was mentioning
Yes,
about
sir.
that period of winning Scudetto after Scudetto after Scudetto, that is the brand and the expectation we should be holding Juventus to. If it's not every year, we should be competing for Scudetto every other year. We should be in Champions League quarterfinals every year. We should be in the Champions League final every 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, there needs to be a model to where we are competing for Scudetto consistently, and we're going deep in Champions League, because we are the premier club of Italian football. When you think of Italian football, it's Juventus. It's not Milan. It's not Inter. It's not Napoli. It's Juventus. That's how we all grew up. We grew up with that brand. So I think that, and you mentioned Farhad earlier about no president, no manager. You have to have a stable, strong ownership, management with a clear direction of where the club is going to go, because from that point it sets the tone for the rest of the team down in the ground. Academy, figuring out who's going to come in and out. And Saeed mentioned earlier about this player came in, we need to sell him and send him away over here. We need to send this guy over there. It sounds like a lot of moving parts, but there doesn't sound like there's a nucleus as to, okay, these are the guys that are going to take us for the next 5 to 10 years, and we're going to win at a clip with these guys. Everyone on the perimeter is going to be on the perimeter. That's really what's disappointing from what we see right now. And hopefully it turns around fast.
Well, they need to. It's been 3 or 4 years of disappointments, maybe more.
I think Christian hit a good point there too, on just like the cycle of bringing in a president, bringing in a coach, not having those two sync together. Also, I'm just going to shout out Nico Gonzalez, another bum. Why is he on this team? Get him off this team. Sorry, Christian, I know he's Argentinian, but but like, I think some of these deals, you're making these deals, right? As the director of football, you're going out and you're trying to sign players. There was rumors about Douglas Luiz going back to the end of the season before. Same with Cope Miners, and you don't have Thiago Motta in place yet, and you're trying to negotiate deals for players without a coach and a system in place yet. And it becomes this like piecework of like, well, these are the players we're trying to sign. And yes, some of them signed technically after Mata came in, but those deals weren't done overnight. There's negotiations, right? They take time. And then it's like, well, what is the system we're going to play with these players? Do I make it work? Can I make it work? And I am worried now. Like, do we get without a coach, without a president? How do we get back into a cycle where the players that we sign, that we bring in, fit the system we're trying to actually build? And how do you make sure the front office and the coaching staff are on the same page?
Yeah, it starts at the top, having a good leader, having a good vision, and we kind of lost that. And someone who has that Juve passion and that Juve DNA, we just need that system back, right? We don't have a system, and it is kind of worrying. Now Giuntoli's gone, and how do you sign a coach? Like, why can't we get a Klopp or Zidane or something, right? Like, who's available? But again, those guys, I don't blame Conte for not wanting to come. Why would you come to this? There's no,
Yeah, exactly. People are disappointed, and it's like he's got a project going there, man. Like, can you blame the guy? He's loved, but at the same time, Conte is like the opposite of that. Who's the Tottenham coach? He always loses his shit in the second season. So you never know. Next season in Napoli will be pure popcorn with
the Conte project is going to blow up at some point. You just know it's going to happen. But he's going to get to that title.
I'm giving it to October.
Like, you get to that title, and then it's going to eventually blow up, and it's going to be entertaining as hell to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they had no Europe this year, right? It was a easy go. It matters so much if you don't have to play these crazy games midweek, right?
It's so similar to what happened when he came to Juve, right?
That's right.
Down to the wire, winning. They won the last day, we won on the second to last day. No Europe, so similar, and he's great at that. But what's your point? Like, why would he want to leave that? It's just where he at least has it. Obviously, De Laurentiis is nuts, and that could things could flip in a second down in Napoli. But he's at least got the team in place and clicking. So you would think if you're gonna go somewhere where it's like there's a mess, or like we just need a few parts, I'm gonna go stay.
Yeah. So I want to read here. Sorry, buddy. Let me just Juve News Live. That's our buddy Rav's podcast website. So the end of Giuntoli era. Giuntoli, who arrived from Napoli in summer 2023, was initially seen as the architect of the new Juventus. However, his tenure has been marked by high-profile transfer flops and a sale of promising young talents. The new leadership is Damian Comoli, joins the board. Former Toulouse president Damian Comoli is set to join Juventus, bringing with him extensive experience as a talent scout and sporting director. He will report directly to CEO Maurizio Scanavino through his exact blah, 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 blah. And there's a bunch of Giorgio Chiellini is getting an expanded role. Club legend Giorgio Chiellini is poised for a promotion to a more central and influential position within their organization. While his precise title is still under discussion, he is a leading candidate for a general manager or even a future club president role. That one I'm super excited about. Chiellini is like a huge piece of the puzzle, who's been with the team, knows what we're all about. I mean, come on, who's better to he's got his MBA, right? He got his
yeah. By the way, it was kind of strange what happened with Chiellini this year, right? He kind of joined the club, right? But
in the shadows.
It was kind of like he wasn't really involved with it, or that he wasn't allowed to talk to the players. There's something weird going on there that we don't know about. But I love to see him be more involved with building that DNA. And and I'll ask you guys this: what do you when Giuntoli came and the whole Thiago Motta thing was happening last summer, I just feel like emotionally, we as Juve fans, I know I didn't, it didn't feel like it was clicking, right? Like I wasn't feeling that whole these guys know what they're doing. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Mota in general just don't feel like had that even till later on, didn't have that like personality that just kind of, grabs you. Allegri had that, Pirlo had that. Sorry, not really. Conte had it, but
The old black
feel
lung.
like a revolution, right? Like in 2011 when we started the club, you kind of felt something. I don't know, right? We felt some tide was turning, right? Even though we didn't have.
Agnelli's not there, man. I'm telling you, people
I
sleep
mean,
on Agnelli's
one is
leadership.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just never felt that connection with those guys, and I think that's very important too.
A lot of Juve fans hated Mota at Juve because he was an Inter player.
Yeah,
I feel like we agreed to accept it, but many comments I was reading is like, get this dirty Interista out of my club. Like people are really violent about it. I mean, I guess they just didn't have.
Farhad, that's the politics.
He did he
Farhad is the ugly side of the Juve fans in the comment section.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
you're in the weeds.
Dude, but sometimes I get these messages. I mean, mostly it's fine. Like, I love communicating with our fans, but sometimes it's like these profile photos. They're not really photos, and they sell really threatening messages. Like, nah, I'm not going to post this. You might want to think about what you're saying online, buddy.
The internet is a very scary place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's no fun. But oh man, I would have loved to see Conte. Like we were saying. Good time to bring back Juve, but unfortunately, maybe they offered him more money. Don't know. But Freddie Scoops is our guy on our podcast. His name is Freddie. I called him Freddie Scoops because he's got an inside source which has been correct 100% of the time. And people kind of came down on him, and someone demanded an apology because he's been reporting Conte and I've been posting it. But when he was reporting it, that was the truth. People don't understand that he can't see the future. So Conte just changed his mind, but there was a verbal agreement. So don't come down on my guy Freddie like that. Yeah, season's gone. Mad disappointed. I mean, there was barely anything, and people, some of the people on Reddit, they're like, I don't know how you guys still do the podcast after all of these. I got to give it up to you guys. You do it week after week, discussing these piss poor performances. But I tell them, you got to do what you got to do. Hopefully, we'll get to celebrate soon on the podcast because it's been a while, man.
Yeah. It's been a while since we had like really great wins, right? Like a win that made you just super excited. I mean, we had I think it was Stuttgart comeback in CL. That felt very exciting.
Matt, you know what's funny? I was just gonna bring that up because two of us on the podcast said that their favorite games were the 4-4 draw, including me. It says a lot about the team where your best game of the season was a draw.
Yeah. And you know what? It kind of feels good. We didn't lose to Inter this year,
That's right.
So
well, there were 17 ties, so plenty to choose.
Yeah.
That was one.
Just the league was 16 draws, 32 points left on the table. Yeah. Boys, let's not make it that long again. I will try to do this every once in a while. Now that Matt is done with all of his studies, my man's been in school for literally dozens of years.
I have a story to tell.
Yes, Christian, go ahead, buddy.
2015, there was that quarterfinal tie, Madrid-Juve, and that result happens. 3 days later, we're playing a league game, and Juve LA. We were meeting at that German. I forgot the name of that place. Maybe you remember.
The German bar.
The German bar.
Word's house, yeah.
Yeah, so we were going to meet there for a game. I don't remember who we were playing, but I showed up. I walk into the room, and there's nobody in the room. The TV's going. And then all of a sudden I heard Saeed say, "Get him." And then everyone came from out of nowhere running to me and like hugging and rough house and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, Christian is the only Real Madrid fan I will tolerate.
So Saeed, I remember that.
I'll tell you guys though, to be honest, sorry, my voice is gone. The Real Madrid fan club in LA has actually been super nice to us. They've been very.
I joke around, but Champions League. Sorry to interrupt. Champions League final. I sat in the whole Real Madrid area.
Yeah.
And I entered the stadium in Cardiff. It was one of those like little, I don't know what you call them, but anyways, just like a little street where everybody was packed waiting for the buses to arrive. And I'm wearing, my Juve stuff, even though it was a Zidane jersey. It's just actually this. And Del Piero did make fun of me for making me sign a Zidane jersey. He's like, what the fuck is it? Like something like that. He's like, what is this? And I felt safe. Everybody was super respectful. I hate Real Madrid, and I don't mind telling him it's nothing personal with Christian, but the fans have always been respectful, cool. And I've gone to watch Clásicos with them where I did not reveal that I was supporting Barcelona, but it was still fun. It's a great fans. I mean, when you win like 76 Champions Leagues you guys have, is that it?
78.
So yeah, it's I guess you're not a huge asshole if you win a bunch of championships, right?
Yeah, I think the OG Real Madrid fans have a lot of respect for Juve. There's obviously a lot of newer fans that are, bandwagoners and stuff, but I think most of the OGs have pretty good respect for Juve.
Yes, sir. All right, boys. Any last remarks? I know Matt has to go. It's late over there.
It's my bedtime.
Matt, I'll be in Boston next week, actually.
Are you really? Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, it's for work, but I'll let you know. I'll get you.
Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah.
I met up with Christian like 8 years ago.
Yeah. Cool.
Christian's coming to Chicago.
I was about to say we should take this podcast on the road. I think we should meet in Chicago or Dallas. I will volunteer Dallas if y'all want to do it. I'm totally down.
I'm down too.
The Juve Dallas chapter is really fun. Really fun guy.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the president.
Thank you very much for forwarding me. Luca, fantastic dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
I hope we can do this again. I really miss you guys being in LA. It's really good times, but really short. So you guys are all, Matt gets a pass. He was a Boston guy, but you two, I don't know about you two. Yes, freaking transfer.
What did I do? Isn't it crazy how people move around? They say every 7 years or so your friends recycle, but thanks to social media and all sorts of communication devices, we are able to keep in touch. I am proud to call you guys my friends. I love it. Love that we keep in touch. I love Christian's newsletters on WhatsApp. Every once in a while, he gives us like a photo album and a description of what he's been doing, and I love it, honestly.
Good to see you guys.
Second.
You guys, man. Forza Juve, sempre.
Forza Juve, for sure. And you guys listening, I know this was not your typical podcast, but I just wanted to make sure to give props to the originators. Like someone brought up that, Christian, if you can mute yourself, please, because I hear myself. Thanks, buddy. I was mentioning how I forgot what I was mentioning. Oh, your echo. I forgot. Whatever. You
like you're talking. You're saying whatever.
I
got stuff to do, man. Matt's like, I gotta go to sleep.
I gotta go to bed.
All right, boys. Love you all. Let's meet up in Chicago or Dallas. I'm down. For the rest of you peeps, thank you. If you sat through two Turin Giants podcast, if you sat through two Turin Giants podcasts today, I appreciate you. I didn't give a proper intro in the last one, and as we do here. Let me find my outro here. I didn't play any of the.
You didn't do any soundboards, man.
I know,
Yeah.
man. I got.
You can do the follow up.
Oh, here's one. Here's one for Christian.
Do a little.
All right, I have all of them so crammed in here. I need to look for the correct one. Anyways, here's to 300 more. Sorry, I ran out of my wine, but yes, 300 episodes, huge, and I thank you guys for being part of my journey. For the rest of you guys, as always, stay hydrated, check on your friends, and Forza Juve.
What's the
Running
unit?
through these checks till I pass out. Pass out. Shorty give me neck till I pass out. Pass out. Swear to God, all I do is cash out. And if you ain't a hoe, get up on my trap house. I was selling crack like I'm fifth grade. Really never made no difference with the shit made.
Cut.
I did not realize there were so many curse words in there. Bobby Schmurdo, we love you. All right, boys and girls, peace.